فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما ثم ما بعد فإن خير كلام الله تبارك وتعالى وخير هدى هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وبعد. For those that are visitors from the larger community neighborhood, this is the practice that Allah gave to our noble prophet, the last prophet and messenger to humanity, that he remind the people in the Arabic language that he was speaking to. And although we may have some people here that speak Arabic like myself, we speak to the people in the English language because the point here and the purpose for the what's called khutbah, the address, is so that the people gain some spiritual food to carry them from week to week. So we'll talk in our language in English, but we will quote the traditional statements of the Quran, that is the revelation that Allah has revealed to the last prophet and messenger, that which the Jews and the Christians in reality know about. And they know that the Quran is the word from the one who created all of us, created everything that exists. And this is what you just heard the address from the prophet, where he used to remind the people of the statements of Allah and to remind the people that we praise Allah. And praising Allah, the creator of the heavens and the earth, means with your tongue, by saying lofty statements that he has sanctioned about himself, praiseworthy characteristics about himself, giving the credit and all of the wisdom behind both good and bad to him alone, and also praise as by feeling that about him which is good in the heart. And then the prophet will remind the people not only that we worship him, as praise is an act of worship, we also seek his assistance, because humans need the assistance of the creator, the one who created them, at every blink of the eye. We need the guidance of our creator in every blink. And then he will remind us that we should seek refuge in him, the creator, from the evil that we have as a wisdom. We have good and bad. And then we seek his forgiveness, because humans will do bad as will be created again in a state to do good and bad out of wisdom. And then the prophet will remind us of the uniqueness and the category that Allah is in by himself. He's not like a creation, as we say, human beings. He's not like idols, and he does not need to have for himself that which is sons and daughters. No, he's above that, as all of the scriptures, we find this in it. Although people, harifun kalima al-mawadih, although they change and alter the meanings of the previous scriptures, وَلَوْلَا مِنْ فَضْلِ اللَّهِ عَلَيْنَا لَحَرِفُونَ الْقُرْآنِ. And if it was not for the mercy of Allah that he protected out of his wisdom solely. The last revelation, the Quran, they would have tried to change that too. This is mankind. So this is what you will hear the Quran of Allah, your Lord, my Lord, as Isa, the son of Mary, said, Inna Allah Rabbi wa Rabbukum fa'abuduh Hada siratun mustaqim. This is what Isa told the people when they were debating with him. This is how we got to the part about him even being crucified on the cross, because they were debating. They were not accepting the knowledge that he came with, clear signs. So he said, no, Allah is my Lord and your Lord. Because they were saying, ask your Lord, ask your Lord. The same thing in the time of Musa. They told him, Moses, alayhi salam, ask your Lord. Ishhada kalam, what is this? Your Lord. No, this is our Lord. Because Lord is indicative to the one who created you. And Barakah wa ta'ala said, خَلَقَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. Allah created the heavens and the earth. And Allah Azza wa Jal, the Mighty, the Sublime, also said, يَا أَيُّهَا النَّاسُ اعْبُدُوا رَبَّكُمُ الَّذِي خَلَقَكُمْ. Now, all you who believe. And sometimes, يَا أَيُّهَا النَّاسُ اعْبُدُوا رَبَّكُمُ الَّذِي خَلَقَكُمْ. All mankind, all of the human beings, worship the one who created you. So this, Allah said about himself, and today we're going to talk from that famous book, the virtue of knowledge. The virtue of knowledge and its importance, inshallah, in a short time. They picked this topic because everything in the life requires knowledge. Even when we talk about in the secular sense, if a person, he goes to get a trade in engineering, although we find in the society he may do something else, his goal should be that he's going to work in engineering. And if you find a person, he goes to school for mechanics, you will not call him to do the electric. And you will not call the school teacher to take a prosecuted case downtown in the courthouse. Why? Because the knowledge is to be applied. The knowledge is to be gained, and it has two folds, as we say, the theory and the practice. And this, we want to talk about the knowledge from the perspective, firstly, that Allah himself, he said about himself, subhanahu wa ta'ala, again, Ya ayyuhan nas, اعبدوا ربكم الذي خلقكم والذين من قبلكم. O mankind, O human being, worship the one who created you and those that came before you. So this is the first level of knowledge, because without that, wallahi, we swear by Allah to emphasize, we're just going in circles. And there's no debate about that except those who in their hearts, they have a disease Allah mentioned. Allah, he mentioned they have a disease. And disease is not like high blood pressure and sugar diabetes. This is a physical, spiritual, and a social disease that you will have from your Creator. Guidance, mercy, knowledge, and you turn your back to it. And that's why when it comes to even the issue of following the guidance, this is also considered ilm, knowledge, the following of it. And this we found Allah, he's saying about the repentance when he said, وَلَيْسْ إِنَّمَا التَّوْبَةُ عَلَى اللَّهِ الَّذِينَ يَعْمَلُونَ السُّوءَ بِجَهَالًا. And indeed, it is something that Allah has made, something that the Creator has made. If you do wrong and you sincerely ask His forgiveness, He has to forgive you. This is from His mercy. As the Prophet ﷺ, he said that Allah Himself, لَمَّا خَلَقَ اللَّهُ خَلْقٍ, when Allah created everything, كَتَبَ فِي كِتَابِهِ وَهُوَ فَوْقَ الْعَرْشِ وَهُوَ مَاذَا فَوْقَ الْعَرْشِ. That book is with Allah above His throne. Allah commanded the pen this is a pen that you can't imagine. This is a pen that they do not sell in any store. A pen that Allah created to have that pen write everything that He tells them from the beginning of creation to the last day when we will stand before Allah to be recompensed for our deeds. That pen wrote what Allah told him, and from it Allah said, Inna rahmati awsa min ghadabi, that my mercy outweighs my anger. Which means, as the Prophet has explained this in other statements and his companions that we follow, like they said, disciples of Jesus, and Prophet Muhammad had companions, those that live with him, practice his religion, practice this way, practical way of life. They said this statement, Allah's messenger mentioned that Allah himself said, His mercy outweighs His anger. That means He's more apt to forgive you, even when you don't deserve it, because His mercy outweighs His punishment. So from this point, Allah said, the meaning in English, إِنَّمَا تَوْبَةَ عَلَى اللَّهِ الَّذِينَ يَعْمَلُونَ السُّوءَ بِجَهَالَةٍ, that indeed Allah, He will forgive the one who repents, because that person, he did an action of evil and ignorance. And here, in ignorance is the opposite of knowledge. This does not mean that the person didn't know, but the fact that he didn't put that which he knew into action, Allah mentioned it as jahal, ignorance. So just because you know something, just because you can articulate something, is not, as they say, majaratul ilm. It's not the end of the line saying that person is knowledgeable. But the knowledge has to be coupled with the action. Likewise, Allah, He mentioned in the Quran, when He talked about this issue, the one that He raises, and you will say that person has a glow, that person is shining. Allah said, يَغْفَ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مِنْكُمْ وَالَّذِينَ أُوتُوا عِلْمَ دَرَجَاتٍ, that Allah has raised people from two categories in degrees. Those who believe, and we've heard many times the people when they say they took shahada, something just came over them. A feeling that they just felt different, just from saying sincerely the statement of entering Islam. But on top of that, here we're talking about the issue of a person knowing and understanding where he or she is going, knowing the reality of that submission to Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, the Mighty, the Sublime. And that is the pure belief, the pure understanding, the pure feeling that you are obligated to live a life according to what Allah has told you. And this is knowledge in itself. As the Prophet said, قُلْ آمَنْتُ بِاللَّهِ ثُمَّ اسْتَقِمْ, say, I believe in Allah, and then live your life according to what Allah said is upright. According to what the messenger left for us and showed us as one of the benefits of having a physical messenger that you can see and watch. We're creatures of habit. And we're creatures of doing what someone shows us by influence. Thus, Allah the Creator, knowing that, as a mercy, sent prophets and messengers. And that prophet said, say, I believe in Allah. But anytime you hear Allah telling you to say, like Allah says, قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ, say Allah is by Himself. He is unique. He does not have sons and daughters and human qualities. This also means believe it in your heart. Because if a person says something and he does not really feel that it's true, then this is not knowledge. And that's why Allah, He said, لِمَ تَقُولُونَ مَا لَا تَفْعَلُونَ. Nah, why do you say that which you don't do? And many times we're guilty of that, saying something that we don't do. So here the Prophet ﷺ also mentioned, for the one who testifies there's no one worthy of worship. As we say, worthy of worship because people worship other than Allah. But are those things worthy of worship? No. That's why the Prophet said, مَنْ مَاتْ وَيَعْلَمُ أَنَّهُ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ دَخَلَ الْجَنَّةِ. That person dies and he knows. That doesn't mean just on his tongue. But in his heart, he has no doubt. He has no confusion about the issue. He is not 50-50, 40-60. He's 100% sure that Allah is the creator of the heavens and the earth. He is the one that we should worship. And this is the first level and the major level of knowledge. That's why somewhere around 1700s, 1765, or as is recorded, when Thomas Jefferson wanted to build a great nation that we stand in called America. They sought to build something great. It's recorded in the Library of Congress. It's recorded in the Supreme Court that they went and got a copy of the Quran translated into English. Copy of Quran, Arabic, what Allah sent to the angel Jibril, to the Prophet Muhammad. Translated into another language, the meaning of the Quran. This is very important. And they took that and they built the Constitution from the civil perspective. So much of what we have in our system, believe it or not, is from the Sharia of Allah. It's from the legislation of Allah. And then they cut out the part about worship and the issue of creed, aqidah. They took all of the things that they wanted to take and they left some. As Allah said, أَفَتُؤْمِنُونَ بِبَعْضِ الْكِتَابِ وَتَكْفُرُونَ بِبَعْضِ. You take some of the book and believe in it and disbelieve in another part therein. So this knowledge that we use in our everyday life is twofold. That which you articulate, that which you understand, that which you hear, that which you see with your eyes, and that which you apply. By believing properly, by feeling properly, by having a perception that's in line with the creation, by having a perception that's in line with the creation that takes what Allah has said. By taking the perception that's in line with the creation that follows the knowledge. By taking that knowledge from the Creator, Allah Himself, and believing that it is the most valuable and the highest level of knowledge, as all knowledge comes from Allah. And the most superior of it is that which is tied to the people being freed from the hellfire. We ask Allah to free us from the hellfire on this day and to give us a complete knowledge as we go through this life. هذا وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على رسوله الكريم وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم وبعد. When we talk about this issue of someone having self-esteem, as we're dealing with the situation of helping the people that are downtrodden, people that are masakin, fuqara, muhtajeen, that have needs. One of the major needs they need, as we mentioned this last night, is uplifting. And this was one of the very primary reasons for Allah sending any scripture to mankind ever, is to rafa'a al-jahl, to raise from them the cloak of ignorance. And as the great poet, he said, فَالْعِلْمُ شَرَفَ صَاحِبُ وَالْجَهْلُ يَشِينُ حَامِلُ. Now, and that is best understood, and Allah knows best, the one who Allah blesses to have some knowledge, then it makes that person with his head up. It makes that person dignified. It makes that person different, as they say, from the average bear. He has nobility. He has assurity. He has strong conviction. And then the person that has ignorance, Yashinu Hamilu, the one who carries that ignorance, Allah will make him look very ridiculous. No matter what his status is, lo kana jahil yashinu. If he's ignorant, then he's going to act ignorant, and it's going to make him look, as ignorance is, repugnant. That's why Musa alayhi salam, he said, "A'udhu billahi an akuna min al-jahilin." I seek refuge in Allah that I should be amongst these foolish people, as they made mockery of the Torah, those people that were asking him over and over about the clear injunction from Allah. That's why Allah told the Prophet, فَقُلْ رَبِّ زِدْنِي إِلْمًا, say, oh my Lord. And look, what we ask Allah, we say, oh Allah, increase me in money. Oh Allah, increase me in, health. Oh Allah, increase me, in women. Oh Allah, increase me in children. Oh Allah, increase me in, food. Oh Allah, increase me with new car. We say all of the stuff, except what the prophets and messengers ask. And they never ask for increasement in worldly affairs, because that's easy for Allah. Even you don't ask him, he's going to give you. But the increasement in knowledge and understanding, because everything you hear and everything you see is not absorbed, it's not understood. Therefore, we have to ask Allah to increase us in knowledge. And increasement in knowledge means twofold, as Allah said, إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. The belief, which is knowledge, and then the practice, which is righteous deeds. And Allah said, إِلَّا الَّذِينَ صَبْرُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. Except those who forbear and they do righteous deeds. So this, we ask Allah to bless us in general, and particularly Barakah, the brothers and sisters here, that He give them a stronghold of knowledge. It's not just what we've been used to in America for a long time, what we say and what we can pass around, but something that we absorb, and it shows on our limbs. It reflects from our heart. It shows as a light post and as a landmark of those who really have some knowledge, because that knowledge Allah Ta'ala sent it for us to use in this life, and the way to use this knowledge is to apply it firstly to yourself and others. And from amongst the best of the knowledge is the knowledge about your Lord and His Messenger, and that which extends to the rest of the people out of the mercy of Allah. We ask Allah on this blessed day to have mercy upon us. رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. Oh Allah, we ask you to give us the good things in this life, that we may use those good things for the good part of the hereafter. And the good part of the hereafter is going to the paradise, a physical paradise. Not spiritual, physical. As you avoid things in this life physically, you stay away from sin physically. This is an injustice to think that the only reward is going to be spiritual. No, it's physical. And this is easy for your Lord. This is the trick that we had in the Christianity. They told us what they guessed at, but we know for sure this is revelation from Allah. And all of those people that strive, they will have a physical and spiritual reward, and the paradise and the heaven, and a place that Allah has promised for those who are the muttaqeen. We ask Allah Ta'ala, Allah the Mighty, the Sublime, to guide us all aright. We ask Allah to accept from us our good deeds, to give us for our shortcomings, and we ask Him for knowledge that we internalize and that it shows on our limbs, on our tongues, and resonates in our heart. Wa aqimus salat.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Hayya as-salah, hayya al-falah. وقامت الصلاة قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
Still Torah, so that straighten the lines, fill in the gaps, line up shoulder to shoulder, foot to foot. Rally straighten the rows, part of perfection of the salah. Any visitors, they don't have to leave the prayer area as some people think. They can sit and watch, observe, but they shouldn't line up and pray like this whole aspect from the interfaith. No, the prayer for the Muslim is a prayer that it requires certain things, and one of them is shahada. So we ask you, inshallah, to relax, make yourself comfortable, and brothers, please put your phones on vibrate so that they don't ring during the salat. Sisters as well, make your line straight, don't leave any gaps. Allahu Akbar.
Allah.
الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. اللهم ربنا ولك الحمد الكثير الطيب المبارك. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. إنا أعطيناك الكوثر فصل لربك وانهر إن شانئك هو الأبتر. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. الله. سمع الله لمن حمده. اللهم ربنا ولك الحمد طيب مبارك فيه. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. جزاك الله خير, Shaykh Ukkashah, for the khutbah. May it be a source of benefit for all of us, inshallah ta'ala. Our brother Shaykh Ukkashah will be here starting tomorrow in the morning at 11 o'clock for we will have a class tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock. So please join us for the program. And also tonight after Maghrib, is that correct?
No.
After Maghrib, he also will be here. We'll have some classes, inshallah. This is our first khutbah. I just want to make a few announcements. So, we are going to try to improve the Jummah and the experience of the people every week, inshallah ta'ala. But please be patient with us, okay? It's going to take us time to get this thing just going well. Just for the winter, we want to keep that door closed because if you open it a lot, it will freeze you out. So, inshallah ta'ala, once the weather changes, we will make that entrance the sister's entrance and the other entrance the brother's entrance. Also, make the dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blesses this effort and makes this effort an effort that helps us to bring the Quran and the Sunnah to the city of Rochester and to empower the people with the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and to empower the people with the light of Islam. Because our intention are just for that reason. We're here to give people the transformative source of this religion. So work with us and make dua that we can actually be successful in this endeavor. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum. One additional the Shaikh will be here after Asr too, if anyone want to come for a continued discussion.
That was like, but I hope it was a effective job.
Sorry, well, let's see.
That cut off.
It did, yeah, it's probably.
Cut off.
But other people, they take 56.